Live from the Webcast One Live studios in the Skywalk of downtown Des Moines, a worldwide woods production, the Bigfoot Diaries Live, featuring your host, Troy Church.
I don't think he's doing a whole lot of singing with the Tabernacle Choir.
And joining him in studio is his illustrious sidekick, Shep.
Tuesday, what do you want to do tonight?
Same thing we do every night. He's trying to take over the world.
Don't forget the always dangerous Grant's Tomb.
Dancing is forbidden.
And of course, the real man behind the curtain, Savekian.
It's such a fine line between stupid and clever. Yeah, it's just a little turnabout.
Do not adjust your screen's resolution. Things are about to get fuzzy.
Hello and welcome to the premiere episode of the Bigfoot Diaries Live. My name is Troy Church. I'll be your host tonight as we meet here in the Webcast One studios on the last Sunday of each month. However, this month it's the third Sunday of the month. This show could be a disaster. I'm going to warn you right now. We've never done anything like this before in our lives. I would like to say this is something that we thought about for a long time. And because of the expertise of the fellows sitting in here with me, we have been able to pull this together. Definitely appreciate you tuning in if you are doing that. We have a great show for you. We have the legendary Andy Chernoff calling in tonight of the Dictators.
Yeah. Fantastic.
We have a local band, a local rock folk band called the High Crest. They'll be playing some songs later for us.
Very good.
And joining us in the studio tonight is Pavement's own Bob Nastanovich.
Great to be here, Troy.
Good to have you, Bob.
Oh,
let me introduce the fellows here. I'd like to introduce Shep. How you doing, Shep?
Doing good. Glad to be here on the maiden voyage.
Have you brought any recipes for us tonight?
Apple crisp. We'll be talking about that later.
Excellent. We got the ever dangerous Grant's Tomb.
Hello.
What's going on in your world, Grant?
Well, I had some very good pork roast today for lunch.
How's that selling?
It tasted good.
Okay. And just arriving at our studio, but just by the seat of his pants, is Savekian.
I'm currently consuming some air.
It's good to have all of you guys.
That was a good sprint through downtown Des Moines, I must say. The traffic is wonderful.
Finding this place is not easy, that's for sure.
No, it is a maze.
Well, this is the part of this is the part of the show where it just gets weird because we don't really have a format. So we're just going to sit here and talk.
Welcome to
as
our
I said,
world.
we're with Bob.
It's flowing well.
And I guess we could just start asking Bob some questions here. You know,
fantastic.
You have a tour coming up in the UK next week.
Yeah, I'm tour managing a gentleman from Cleveland called Max Solish, whose band goes by the name of Dollfish, and he played here at the Muse recently. Wonderful young man, great singer-songwriter. He tours solo, and over the years I've spent a lot of time in the UK, and via my connections I was able to book him 6 or 7 shows, and I'm going to DJ. I'll just play records at a few of them, but it's his maiden voyage in the UK. He tours pretty much all around the Midwest and the East. Really good live performer, and his record, I'd Rather Disappear Than Stay the Same, was my favorite record of last year. So I'm pretty excited to get him in front of the English audience. I think it'll be really beneficial to him.
Excellent. What's his genre?
He has an incredibly high pitched singing voice. It's pretty unique.
How high are you talking?
A lot of people think that it's a woman until they see that it's kind of a funny looking little man.
Tiny Tim?
Sort of. Actually, one time when I was waiting to get back into the country in the 90s, I waited at JFK Airport for 90 minutes in a long line behind Tiny Tim. Who had like a kind of a Yoko. He had a Yoko Ono like girlfriend, and he had terrible body odor. And he was wearing a suit jacket that was like it had postage stamps from all around the world on it. And it was really filthy. And then I got home. I was living in New Jersey at the time. And I got home, I turned on my TV, and that show Entertainment Tonight was on, and he had just broken his own world record the night before in Bristol, England, for the longest continuous performance of a song. He played Tiptoe Through the Tulips for 26 hours.
Wow.
And like you, Grant, he didn't shower afterwards.
Is there a YouTube
But it was
video?
really like weird. You know how like you have weird, like sure you see like a famous person, you're like, oh wow, famous person, but like obscure famous people really boggle the mind, you know? Like, you know, watching this, like, you know, as close as I am to Shep here, closer, Tiny Tim, wondering if we were ever going to get back in the United States. But it was weird. But anyways, yeah, Dollfish. Check it out. You can go to, it's DOLFISH. Just Google it and you can listen. This day and age, you can pretty much hear everything a band's ever done on the internet just by Googling, which is pretty interesting without having to lay down 1 red cent.
Yeah.
So, but he is really good live, and hopefully we'll make it float in the UK. And I'm pretty excited to go over there, like supporting the arts.
Well, that's excellent. You are going to be spinning records, is that right?
Yeah, I'll just bring over like 30 or 47 inches that, you know, hopefully will be appropriate. And there's this one bar in London called the Mucky Pup. I bet you it's like, if you lived in London, it's where you'd hang out.
Okay.
Great place. The guy Angus runs it. If anybody's ever in Islington, they should go to the Mucky Pup. But it is a great pub, and I DJ there like once or twice a year.
Okay.
Whenever I'm over there.
So we stop in and tell Angus we know you.
Totally. That's probably one of about 4 or 5 places in the world where that would help your cause.
Note to self.
Yeah.
Put that in the file.
Yeah. No, but it is like, if you do ever go to London, then go to the Mucky Pup. But he's playing there as well, and I'll DJ there. And then there's this place called Cakey Mudo. It's a lady that runs like she makes one of those ladies that makes like really fancy cupcakes and stuff. Like we have a place over here now off of Ingersoll called Creme.
Right.
You know, one of those places. But then she's also really into music, and she sells beer and booze, and then she turns it when she sells all of her cakes, she turns it into like a music pub, and we're playing there.
Beer, cupcakes, and music.
Yeah,
that is an awesome combination.
She's cool. She's a cool lady.
Did you know these people? So you set the tour up ahead of time with people you knew, or are you
mostly people I know, and then other people I've come to trust through naivete. But yeah, like I've never met the guy in New York, but he seems cool on Facebook. And the guy in Hull I've known for years. A lot of Pavement's crew comes from Hull. Not like we ever had a big crew. Actually, our main guitar, our guitar tech, Andy Dimmick. I've spent a lot of, like, I'd say over 200 days of my life in what would sort of be considered the Cleveland, Ohio of England, which is Hull. It's a very grim place, a lot of junkies. But very friendly people, aside from the junkies, who can be friendly. But anyways, no, it is a great city. But it is interesting when you go through customs in England and you're like, you know, what's the purpose of your visit to the UK? And you say, well, I'm going to visit my friends in Hull. And they look at you like you're a junkie. Check your baggage. A junkie. But no, it's a great city. I like to call it God's own city.
Awesome. Do you have any plans future-wise to do anything with Pavement?
Just looking forward to going back to the racetrack and working. At this point at Prairie Meadows, we start up pretty soon. Pavement has not discussed any future activity at this point.
Who's in charge of that?
Steven, who lives in Berlin now. And he actually just played a very interesting concert about a month ago. He played with a bunch of like fantastic German musicians, none of whom I know. He did for the 40th anniversary of Can's album, Eggy Bamyazi. He played the entire album. And I watched that on the internet. It was pretty impressive. The band was great. Steve did a really good job. So, you know, he's very active with his band Jix. And, you know, his wife's an artist and he lives in Berlin. And so, you know, I keep in touch with him via the internet. And if anything ever really comes up suitable, I'll do it. But, you know, just in typical Pavement fashion, we've got members sprinkled all over the world. We got a guy in the mountains of Virginia that lives like it's 1850. We got a guy in who lives out in the country outside of Brisbane, Australia, that just had a kid, and then Ibold still lives in New York, and I guess Sonic Youth is now defunct, so he's not playing with them anymore, so
aren't they playing at Woolies coming up?
Are they?
I think so.
You would know more than I do. I don't follow Sonic Youth.
They are done.
They are not playing.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I would think that due to the marital problems.
Yeah, they're.
I can tell you a pretty interesting story about that.
Kim and Thurston got
Please
married.
do. Please do.
Yeah, we have 50 minutes left. Go ahead.
We got some time to fill here.
I'll tell you a funny story about Sonic Youth. We played in London 4 consecutive nights in Brixton at the Academy in 2010, which was awesome. And, we played a lot of shows with Sonic Youth over the years, and Thurston came to, I think, the third of 4 nights, and he was with an attractive young brunette. She was, I purchased, my wife lost the lanyard that holds her laminate, so it was kind of in a bad neighborhood, and I found this one store, and I bought a replacement lanyard that was had the Afghanistan flag all the way around it. Cost £1, and she was obsessed with this lanyard, so she traded her $500 Prada hat to my wife for a £1 lanyard that I bought 100 yards away. And Whitney didn't really think much of the hat anyways. She's not like a fashion snob really in terms of like elitist brands or anything, but it turns out that's who he was having the affair with.
Wow.
And yeah, Steven sent me an email saying, remember that weird girl that's traded the Prada hat for the £1 lanyard? That's the one that messed up their marriage. And yeah, she was introduced to me as his European publicist or something.
You have all kinds.
I don't have one of those. Do you have a European publicist?
I have friends in Europe who I've never met before. That
are doing publicity work for the Bigfoot.
Me at the moment, I'm sure.
They promised.
But you're looking for sponsorship and advertisers. Let's take this thing worldwide here. I mean, let's not just make it exclusively Des Moines. There's a lot of people willing to cough up $25 to support this fine project all over the world.
So. Angus, if you're watching the show,
give us the Monkey Pup. He's more likely to give you like all you can drink for 8 hours, which would be
That's
worth
a fine substitution.
Yeah.
That right there is a reason to go to the UK.
Yeah. How much are tickets?
Well, God, it costs over $1,000 to fly to England now, which is strange. But thankfully, although I'm running out, I still have miles.
This might be kind of a generic question, but what would you say fundamentally is the biggest difference in terms of doing gigs in the UK versus here in the States?
The crowds tend to be more, and I can only speak in terms of the bands that I've played with. They tend to be more, they sing more. That's pretty cool. You're mocking me. They sing along more, and they're younger, and it's pretty similar. But they're the American rock crowd tends to be fairly reserved, at least for our band, I mean, I
don't know. It seems to me in the States we tend to absorb more of the background of the band and kind of get more into their personal business as it,
the celebrity of the whole thing rather than the music.
It doesn't seem like the music alone is enough to sustain, so we have to kind of pry a little bit more here.
Interesting.
And I don't know. I watched a few of your interviews, and it seemed like Malcolmus was a little bit more hesitant to do interviews, and there was a lot of times where you were kind of his screen.
Yeah,
and
that was my job because I can't play music at all.
Right.
So I made up.
I think you did a fine job.
Yeah, it was all an act. Like I can't. Like if you said, "Hey man, we should jam sometime," I can only play like Silver Jews and Pavement songs, and my skills are so rudimentary.
You said you can't do the kick pedal.
I can't play a kick drum. I hate it. I tried to. I don't like it.
That's my fault too. I can.
Yeah, I just made up things that I made up all my parts and made them really easy so I could do them in basically any condition.
How did you come to play in Pavement at that rate?
Our first drummer, Gary Young, was a decrepit alcoholic, and So Steven, and I was the roadie. I happened to have a Suburban, an old Suburban, and I was the roadie. And he's like, I don't know if, I mean, I can imitate Steven perfectly, but he was like, Gary's a mess. Like, you know, you just get like a floor tom and a snare or something, and just, you can keep time or something. He just is so, he gets so drunk. Like, if we don't play by midnight, he's had so many vodka and grapefruits. I mean, he would, fantastic drummer. That's the amazing thing about him. Like, the guy was like, he was pretty much like a Keith Moon type, you know, he was prodigious drummer, amazing performer, you know, and like, I mean, I literally would play a lot of these shows, and I'd be like, look, you know, it says we're supposed to play here, you know, and things were a lot later back then in the like in the 80s and 90s, like, you know, at least in this country, like there's so many shows now that like the thing's over at 11 or,
right.
You know what I mean? Like the headliner band wouldn't play till like 1, and then there'd be the cleanup slot after that, you know. And I'd be like, look, you know, it says on the schedule we're supposed to play at 11:30, and if we don't play by 11:30, my drummer, like his drumsticks, it'll be like he's drumming with 2 pencils. You know, I mean, wow. You know, he drank a half gallon of pop-off vodka a day. You know,
so you were the replacement for somebody who was only good till
I wasn't a
midnight.
replacement. No, I just was there to keep time.
Okay.
And then, like when Steve West, my friend, my best friend from high school, he took over as our drummer, and he's a very competent individual. So I had to sort of, I brought in like samplers and keyboards and more percussion, tambourine, maracas, sang a lot. Because Steven didn't want to shred his voice either, so I had to do all the screaming parts, which is fun. Anybody can scream. Right. So it's all things that like say Pavement was playing in 2 hours and I didn't feel like doing it, I could teach you all of my parts. I could go through like the 30 songs on the set list, and I could tell you what I do on all 30 songs and write it down, and you could probably do it. Which is, you got to keep it easy, unless you're good. I don't like to practice. Some people like to practice. I've never really been able to figure that out. Like, some people like to jam and practice. I mean, I can understand jamming. Like, I've done my fair share of jamming, where you think when you're jamming, you think you're making something amazing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Then you play it back on your recording.
The next day,
it's just like,
yeah.
Oh, God.
Here's the band. Yeah, here's the band's here, so you guys don't have to listen to my gab.
There he is.
Been one for a while.
But so, no, it's different.
Range Life, I have to ask you this, because, I mean, there's been a lot of attempts to ask it prior to this. But what was the beef with Stone Temple Pilots?
Stone Temple Pilots and Smashing Pumpkins were bands that we basically kind of found kind of annoying. So it was just a diss.
You kind of interchanged those lyrics, so it didn't really matter at times.
It didn't matter. We'd slip in like other bands. We couldn't stand into that. You know, it's just Steven, his personality at work there. He's a real snide, smart ass. Yeah. And it was kind of taking a swing. It was the kind of thing that would like draw a little bit of controversy. Right. And you know, it pissed them off. I mean, we played with them and Smashing Pumpkins. We played on the same festival with them in Brazil a couple of years ago, and the guys like still hate. It was actually great publicity for Pavement, because he would go on and on and on and on about how much he hates Pavement, which is great. It's like,
that's awesome.
You know, people listen more to you than they do us. We don't have the platform that. I got a story about that guy too, man.
All right, well, we're gonna hold off on that for just a second.
We're gonna go to stories, though.
You can't. Yeah.
We're gonna go to our first commercial break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Sure.
Everybody's gonna take a deep breath of collective sigh, I believe here. So
that's great.
We'll see you in a few minutes.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner and general manager of Service Legends. I brought along a couple of the home comfort heroes.
Hi, I'm Tammy Wells.
I am Nick Wondershad.
I'm administrative mmanager.
I'm the senior technician
from Service Legends.
It seems like every good thing, when you feel it to the bone that it's good, there's a lot of hard work put behind it. I don't think that you can fake it and have it turn out good.
You know, if we seem like, okay, that's just weird, it's just a furnace, why would you believe so deeply in a furnace? It's not just that, you know, we want to show the world that you can have good service.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be, it's your home.
You know, it's built into our daily trainings, it's built into our culture, that we're going to do whatever it takes to have each client say they love us, period.
That's why we spend all the hours in the training that we do. And if we guarantee it's going to be a good experience for you, or else it's free, what type of work do you think we're going to do?
There is a guarantee.
Temperature selection guarantee, fixed rider it's free guarantee, comfort guarantee, best value guarantee. All of these guarantees hold us accountable to ensuring that we exceed your expectations. And if for whatever reason we'd fail and we can't make it right, we guarantee all of those guarantees with a 100% money back guarantee.
I mean, if you don't think that your technician can fix it right, are you going to say that to a client? No.
You don't have to worry about having a technician come to your house.
We drug test, background check all of our team members. We put safe people in your home. Each and every one of our service techs, 400 hours a year in training.
You tell it the minute they walk in the door. They know what they're doing, they've done their homework, and they actually truly care about what you want.
Because at the end of the day, you're the person that makes sure I have a job.
They're going to be listening. They're going to want to know what your challenges are. Then they're going to come and give you options, and you get to choose.
If I'm there to help and I make it easy and painless, I did my job right that day.
Well, when it comes to your comfort, safety, and your family, you know, you don't necessarily go buy the most expensive, but you get the most bang for your buck.
Oh, it's worth it, because there's a lot of people that will find a way to get it to work right now and then leave and then come back, charge you again, and the cycle just repeats itself. So when I'm out there looking at the furnace, I want to find why it failed today. How can we change the part today with something that you're not going to have to worry about? Is it worth changing the part today? I mean, you can put a lot of money into a furnace. I can fix parts all day. There's good job security in that for me, but is it the right thing for you?
I get a lot of the phone calls of after the technicians are there. They're just in awe. They're like, wow, you guys are great. I mean, I don't even know what to say. You guys are great. Everything you did was perfect. It was great.
Keep going though, I like this.
Just give us a try. I'm gonna take all the risk.
I've got the time to make this right. I've got the support to make it right.
Just check us out.
And if you don't see the value in what we do,
I mean, fixed rider, it's free or 100% money back.
Enough said.
If Tom Coates from Consumer Credit of America was your personal webmaster, Tom would filter out all bad debt emails. If Tom was your mailman, you'd never get any debt reduction junk mail. If Tom Coates was a lineman, he'd block any phone calls offering to reduce your credit card debt.
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America, and we're still your best choice for credit counseling. We're local, we're accountable, and we can do more. You make the call when the time's right for you.
When it comes to competition, there really is none for Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Welcome back. Hopefully that wasn't too painful for you.
Couldn't be as painful as the actual show.
The pain's going to start hurting right now.
No, the commercials are always great.
Actually, I would like to take this opportunity to ask Bob if he would like to ask us any questions.
Well, we were just talking about TPI. He just got off work.
I just got off work.
Shep, what do you do for a living?
Nothing. I don't do anything at all.
That's cool. So you just hang?
I just hang around.
Do you cook for your wife?
Panhandle a little bit.
You do?
That's about it, yeah.
Do you crush cans?
Yeah. Take cans back, but that's it, yeah.
How much do you make a week canning?
$70, $85 a week, I think, is about what I've been bringing in lately, yeah.
Do you pick through people's
dumpster dive?
Yeah.
Whole freegan lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's pretty much where I'm at.
The winter months slow you down a little bit, don't they?
I tried to head south. It didn't work out this year for me at all. So, I
just watched a documentary.
Living hand to fist.
I watched a documentary recently about people who dumpster dive and get, like how you see like food that's about to expire that all gets thrown away, and these people like have chest freezers and they like pretty much get all their meat and seafood like in the Trader Joe's parking lot. Have you considered that?
I think I'm just gonna start living off the land.
Oh yeah.
Convert your vehicle to biodiesel.
Exactly.
Go around and collect their oil too. From
hunt squirrels in the park. Things like that. It appeals to me, and I think
Are we having technical difficulties? Can they hear us? Okay.
Well, at least they can still hear us.
That's too
Grant
bad.
said that he works for Satan himself.
Whoa. Whoa.
You do bear a slight resemblance. I just want to say
He does the work of Satan. So how does it feel to like go into work knowing that you're ripping off millions of people every day or contributing to it?
You know, I cannot under any circumstances comment on that.
Okay, I got a text from my sister. She says that the trees make it look like a 3D effect, which is kind of cool. We would like your
kind
input.
of cool. She's hard to please.
Why don't you give us a call?
Your
Our
face
phone
is
number-
kind of 3D.
Well, so is yours.
Thank you.
Especially here.
Especially
I
in
actually
here.
thought it was 2D, but
Call us at 855-244-0077. We want to hear from you. We have a gift certificate from Daydreams. And the first two people that call,
Is that a
between the
tanning
two
salon?
of you...
yeah.
Daydreams is a little hippie shop up on University.
Depends on what time of day you go.
They sell tie-dyed. They sell Frisbee golf disc.
Great selection of those.
Yeah, the biggest one in Des Moines that I know of.
You guys good at that?
Great driver
I enjoy
selection.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, the first two people who call in, I'll pick one of you to win this gift certificate for $25.
Ooh.
And this is where it stands right here. The number again is 855-244-0077.
Now, do we have a clause on relatives? And
the phone is ringing.
Wow.
Oh, that always works. $25 gift certificate. Maybe just make
Throw
it
out the stuff, the free stuff, the swag.
Never been here before. Do I answer the phone?
Push your mic.
Hello, you're on the air. Who's this?
Let me turn you down on my screen.
Hello?
Troy Church?
Yeah.
This is he.
Hey, man, I like the sticker on the top of your computer. Thankful Dirt. That's a good band.
Oh, you know those guys?
This is Eric. What's up, dude?
My man.
Oh, Mr. Brown.
What's happening, bud? So far, you're in the running for a $25 gift certificate at Daydreams. How do you feel about that?
I'm going to get a smoking utensil.
Nice. I think they have
What do they
those.
call that? They call those water
A
pipes.
fork?
What do they call them now?
You're going to get a fork.
A vase.
There you go.
Paperclip.
Excellent.
Well, you haven't won it yet. We don't have any other callers at the moment, but I'm guessing there's more than just one person in the universe watching this show right now.
No, it's just me, man.
Yeah, it's just Eric.
Paraphernalia reference cost him the prize, didn't it?
Absolutely. It is.
We'll take our sponsors so we can get them.
Well, I think they sell ashtrays, though. That would be, right?
Right.
They got Pantera onesies for babies.
There you go.
What I've heard. Hey, man, good show. I just wanted to say, hey, can't wait to hear the high crest. I want to hear some more pavement stories. That stuff's great.
All right, well, we'll hit Bob up for some more of that.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Crazy man.
Absolutely, bro.
Bob, what's your impression of Des Moines, Iowa?
It's I love it here.
Is
really love it. It's just ease of use. I've lived in so many big cities, and I love I mean, you know, I'm 45 years old. Very satisfied with what this town has to offer. If I was 23, maybe I would be bored. You know what I mean? I can understand like how people in their 20s like, but I think there's like great places to eat. It's got a great music scene. It's got enough of like you can go see good movies. It's well located. There's zero traffic. There's a racetrack. There's decent sports. You know, you can get an affordable place to live for under $1,000. You know, in some cases under 500. Houses are cheap. I love it here. I love it. In fact, I love it so much that I pick and choose who I tell how great Des Moines is, because I don't want a bunch of jackasses moving here, like, and you know, overrunning it and making it like Chicago or some crap like that. You know?
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, I mean, the worst thing can happen would be like can you imagine like an influx of like just savage creeps coming in here and just like, it happened in Nashville. I lived in that when I first moved to Nashville. I mean, like, it's amazing. It got like named the #1 city in the country to move to, and like, you know, it was insane. Like within 6 months, it was just like overrun with just like, I don't know really what it is, but they take up a lot of space.
Okay.
They cause trouble. No, I think it's great. You know, obviously the winter is brutal, but if you think about it, like our winter has not been as bad as like huge chunks of this country this year, you know, and everybody moans about the winter and stuff. But yeah, I think the weather here is fine, really, overall, if that's a factor for some people. You know what I mean? No, how do you like? You've been here for a long time. You love being here, right?
I've been in Central Iowa my entire life, except for
all you gentlemen have, right? You included.
I was in Chicago for a while.
Where you? What part? Where'd you live?
All around it. I was on South Wabash downtown for a while.
I lived in the Ukrainian Village for a couple of years.
Out on West Chicago?
I lived on just one block
Damon?
off Western, right by Empty Bottle.
Okay.
Like about 100 yards from Empty Bottle.
I was out by Damon on Walcott.
Yeah, I love that neighborhood. That's a great that's the best neighborhood in Chicago.
Yeah, beautiful.
Hey guys, I'm going to interject here for just a second. We have a caller on the line here I want to get to. Andy Chernoff is the bass player from the legendary New York City band The Dictators. They are often referred to as punk. They were one of the true crossover bands from the 70s. They're liked by fans of punk. They're liked by metalheads, surfer dudes, and even those who like pop music. The Dictators were the band that inspired the Ramones, and people don't realize that. We're lucky to have Andy on the line here. Let's go to Andy and see how Andy's doing. Andy, can you hear me?
What's up? I hear you.
Hey, you sound great. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. You're a little bit distorted, though.
Am I distorted on? Are you watching the webcast?
No.
Okay, just on the audio then. Well, good.
Yeah.
How's it going? Where are you? Are you in New York?
Yes.
How's the weather up there?
It's pretty effing cold. I can say fuck on the podcast.
Actually, probably not.
Effing's better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't say it anyway.
Wow.
It's a ruckus out here.
Oh.
A real ruckus. No, it's very, very.
Did we ever clear up that whole delay issue?
Yeah. Well, hey, you've released a new EP. It's called Don't Fade Away. It's an absolute great CD. It's 4 songs that are, it's a long ways from what I would call Dictators, but it's brilliant in every aspect. Tell me about.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Tell me about some of the songs. Like, what was the inspiration for the opening track? Let's get the band back together.
Well, I was doing a show. Not last year. I'm not sure I played that much, but the year before, I played just about every week at a residency here in New York City. And I did a show with a friend of mine, Jesse Bates. Mm-hmm. He was doing a song called "Let's Get the Band Back Together," and it was just really funny. I was laughing my ass off. But I didn't think the song was 100% right for me, so I said, "Hey, Jesse, mind if I just do a little tweaking there, turn a little sprinkle a little Chernoff magic fairy dust on it?" I said, "No problem." So I used the guts of the song, rewrote some words, added some chord changes, added another hook, and that's it. I also find it very funny when bands reunite. I was particularly think of I was watching channel PBS. They had a Bachman Turner Overdrive reunion show for some reason on PBS.
It's worthwhile.
I just find some of these shows really funny,
Right. So is the CD selling good?
Excuse me?
Is the CD selling good? Or the EP?
My EP?
Yes.
I think it sounds great, yeah.
Is it selling? I'm sorry. Are you getting a lot of sales?
Oh, sales? I haven't really promoted it. I put it up on my website. I put it on CD Baby. My plan is not put out an EP and then push it. I'm trying to add a bunch of stuff. Like I have another EP. I'm finishing up the final song right now. I'm going to add a bunch of stuff over the next year, a bunch of videos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want people to think of Andy Chernoff as Andy Chernoff X-Dictators. I want people to think of Andy Chernoff's, the artist, the performer, the songwriter.
Okay.
And, he's playing Dictators. So my goal is to get a lot of stuff out over the next year.
Excellent.
So sales are okay. I mean, I haven't made my money back yet.
No.
But, when I play, thing is, you don't sell CDs. First of all, if you want to sell a CD, you got to sell it at your show.
Mm-hmm.
So when I play, I usually sell a bunch of CDs, and I haven't been playing that much. But I just started in February another residency, so no complaints.
Excellent.
No complaints.
Andy, this is Dave here. Speaking of getting bands back together, Is the chapter closed on the Dictators ever doing anything again?
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't say never ever again, but I got my hands full, and I'm, I wouldn't. If the right show came along, I guess I would do it. But right now, I'm pretty busy.
Was the last thing you guys did the CBGBs?
The last thing we did a tour of Spain in 2006, 2007, something like that.
Okay.
And it's just I'm an older guy. I really enjoy playing my old songs in that style, sort of repeating. Just these chord changes I've done 9 times. I prefer what I'm doing now. I enjoy it more.
Okay.
So there's really no need for me to do something that I'm not really enjoying.
So when you play out live now, this is Bob. When you play out live now, who's in the band?
I sometimes play by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've been doing in a club in New York for the month of February, I'm using this woman, Trisha Scott. She's a fantastic singer.
Cool.
Harmonies, and she does percussion. She sings in this. She sings with Ronnie Spector. She sings back up in this thing called the Blues Lounge in New York, very popular monthly show. And I have this guy Brian Hurd, who plays harmonica for Daddy Longlegs.
Cool.
Daddy Longlegs is they got a new record out of Norton. Blues rock trio, absolutely fantastic. And we just sort of we don't even rehearse. I just get together 10 minutes before we play. I show them the chord changes, and then we just sort of wing it.
Perfect.
So it's a little bit, a little on the edge. I think it takes some kind of, it's pretty brave to do such a thing, because I risk falling on my face, but it's a little more thrilling.
Right. And where do you play these days in New York?
I'm playing at this club called Otto's Shrunken Head every Wednesday.
And where's that?
It's on 14th Street between A and D.
Cool.
And I have a few more shows coming up. With Lenny Kay at the Brighton Bar, Jersey, and a few other local bars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. What I'm doing is more just trying out new songs all the time. It's more of an experiment. It's not like I have a big show.
Right.
I go up there, I tell a few stories, sing a few tunes. Sing different songs all the time. Just trying stuff out. It's I enjoy it.
Yeah, it sounds thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, it's I tell stories of the old days, tell stories of the Ramones, and growing up in New York City. And it's not as commercial as being in a rock band as financially successful, but it's a lot more fun for me.
Excellent. Hey, Andy, this is Troy again. Are there any plans to? This is kind of a personal question. Are there any plans to produce any reissues of the Teenage Wasteland Gazette?
I wish you would.
It was pretty juvenile magazine.
Right, but you had Lester Bangs writing for you. You had Richard Meltzer.
Yeah, Richard Meltzer. It was just, people don't know, when I was a teenager, I started a fanzine about music and rock and roll. But none of the stories are true. I would make up concerts. I would, write stories about drugs and girls and drinking, and it was, it was a punk magazine before punk magazine, before the thing called punk rock. Definitely a lot of attitude.
Where were these available at?
I'm sorry, say again?
Where were these available?
Where were they?
Mm-hmm.
How'd you sell them?
I sold them when I was a kid. There were people would write about it, like Cream Magazine would write about it, Lester Banks would write about it, and then people would just send me, a buck or two in the mail, and I'd send them a copy of the magazine.
That's amazing.
I only did like a few hundred of each magazine, probably about 5 altogether.
Are there any left?
In my parents' attic.
So if I sent you a couple of bucks, would you send me some? This is Dave, by the way.
Maybe.
Maybe?
I'd have to go dig them out. But, I don't know. I have to go. I have to go look at them again and see if there's anything particularly embarrassing in there. It's like if I went to look at your old photo, your old teenage diaries or something like that. Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily want me poking there, would you?
Yeah. I don't know.
Awesome.
It's mythical. You know, I've heard all about them. I read, I think there was some kind of a contest winning a date with Pigpen in one of them. I think I've read that reprinted somewhere. I don't know. From everything I've heard, it sounds right up my alley.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of other people's.
It was pretty absurd. Maybe I'll send you a copy. We can talk about this off the air.
Awesome.
All right, awesome. Well, hey, Andy, I appreciate you calling in. It's a treat to talk to you. People don't realize that you were one of my very first interviews for the Bigfoot Diaries, and I had your audio. I lost it, and you were gracious enough to redo the interview with me, and I really, really appreciate it. You are a legend in my mind, and it's an absolute honor to have you on the show, and I appreciate it.
Hey, Troy, thanks, Bob. I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the support. You've given over the years to my music.
Well, I appreciate it too, and wish you the best out there, and hopefully it doesn't get too cold the rest of the winter.
Thanks, Bob.
All right.
Take care, Troy.
Okay, thank you.
Stay warm, brother.
Will do.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go to our next round of commercials here, and we'll be back in the studio with the High Crest. Unless we're still on the air, which it looks like we are.
Big man.
It really was.
That was smooth.
First.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Drug and alcohol addiction slowly steals a person's identity, tearing away pieces of their life little by little until one day it seems like the hope of a happy future is gone and there's no chance of getting it back. Here at St. Gregory Retreat Centers, we can assure you that there is hope. Our unique approach to recovery begins with the understanding that the dysfunction and damage caused by addiction can be overcome, not just dealt with. Don't let another day go by. Call St. Gregory today.
It's like they want to get hit.
Need a body shop?
Minor Wreck Express saves you time and money.
Whether you're 10, 25, 50, 80 years old and beyond, everyone needs to live within their means. I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of America. For almost a quarter of a century, we've helped people of all ages learn to manage their personal finances to benefit them far into the future. When problems arise, we've got the experience you need to make those debt problems go away. Got financial problems? Call Consumer Credit of America.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
All right, we're back. We're back from the break. We have our in-studio musical guest today is the High Crest from here in Des Moines, Folk and Roll. I've known these guys for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and every time I see them, it's like unbelievable. I've seen them progress from just a acoustic band to a band that is like genuinely impossible at what they do, and I'm totally honored to have you guys in the studio. This is Aaron Short and Kat Darling. Together they are the High Crest. How you guys doing?
Great.
Thanks for having us. Oh,
After those compliments, Troy. Yeah. You sure you're talking about us?
I'm talking about you guys. So you're gonna do a couple songs for us tonight?
Sure.
What song are you gonna do first?
Off the album, our new album. This one's called Stay.
Okay, sounds great. Let's hear it.
Today my thoughts were of how friends always
Wow,
Okay.
amazing. Aaron, how many strings do you break in every performance?
Knock on wood, I never break any strings.
It's amazing.
I like my strings I'm using. So.
Talking about your new CD, it's self-titled. I have it right here. It's The High Crest. And where can people pick this up at?
Well, at our shows.
At your shows?
So, yes, and you can, in Des Moines here, you can pick it up at Wayback Records.
Okay.
Booster Records.
Is there a website people can pick it up on?
Sure. And
Okay.
we're also on Bandcamp. So you can go to www.thehighcrest.bandcamp.com.
Excellent.
We got a website, thehighcrest.com.
All
We're
right.
on Facebook. You know.
How did obviously you guys have been working for a long time. What finally came together that you could put together a CD?
5 years.
Was it big a challenge? Was it? I mean, obviously it wasn't material because I've seen you guys do about 600 songs. But what was the biggest challenge to get to the CD point?
Hell, I don't know. That's a good question. Time.
I felt like there was a lot of things in life that happened that kind of stalled us out from getting the project done.
Okay.
I think those were the biggest things I had. You know, everybody has to go through a
We
lot
had a
of
big
stuff.
downer, but her mom passed away a few years ago, and that was a big hurdle.
Right.
For sure.
Well, yeah.
And then
that was the biggest hurdle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was mending to get to this point for the album, and you know we've been working on this material for so long that it was just like, we're ready.
Yeah,
Did
well,
it in
good.
a really short amount of time.
Well, good for you guys. The CD is fantastic. It's been in my rotation in my car since I picked it up, and
Cool.
I've had it for 2 months now, I think. So I got a little early copy. But you guys got another song to do. Do you have one in mind?
Sure.
We got about 5 minutes, maybe. So.
Okay. Let's do Something in the Wind.
Okay.
This one's off the CD.
Something in the water, there's something in these hills, there's something big on the horizon and it's not standing still. Excuse me if I'm skeptical, please excuse my fears. History repeats and it feels like the past is getting near. Ripe for the harvest, I guess you might as well. It pays more to sacrifice the land and the economy.
guys are amazing.
Oh, Troy, you caught us on the end of a long weekend.
Well, I certainly can't tell by the quality of the music. It's absolutely awesome to have you guys in the studio. Thanks for making the way down to Des Moines.
Thanks for doing
downtown
it.
Des Moines, I should say. You guys are in Des Moines, but
East Side.
East Side, baby. I live on East Side too.
right.
We're gonna go to our next commercial here, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
All right.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Located on 13th Street between Grand and Locust, downtown Des Moines. The Ritual Cafe features an all-vegetarian menu, unique specialty drinks, and they proudly serve organic coffee and espresso. It's the only place in town with all-natural fruit juice smoothies made with hemp nut. They feature live music on the weekends and open mic and unplugged poetry once a month. They also showcase local artists on the wall. No matter what time of the day, begin your ritual at Ritual Cafe downtown. Ritual Cafe, DSMIowa.com. Artworks is a full-service screen printing and embroidery shop located in the Heartland, but serving the world. Artworks Design Shop offers our clients a range of options in graphic apparel and excels at customer service. You will not find a more creative design team anywhere else. From a simple one-color t-shirt to complex sportswear and uniforms, Artworks offers everything from Plastisol to Discharge and environmentally friendly water-based inks. We can provide any piece of apparel or textile needed to get the job done. Tom Partridge from the King of Tramps band says, I've had the pleasure of working with Tom Bolin for over 10 years. From professional design to quality finished products, he has always come through for us. The best way to reach us for a quote is to find us online at www.artworks, ARTWORX, design.com.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
So we got some bumper music here. Who is this, Charles?
You asking me? I can't even hear. I do not have headphones, my friend.
Oh.
Yeah, a little King Crimson there, Starless.
Okay. That's right.
Starless and...
Well, gosh, the high crest were absolutely awesome. I hope people in viewer land were able to get a good sound of that, because here in the studio it sounded lights out.
Yeah, it was fantastic. The backdrop was awesome.
Yeah, it looked good for that. I thought so too. We're running out of time here. First of all, I want to thank Mac McCoy for letting me have the studio here tonight. I want to thank Dan too. I appreciate your time, bud.
Fantastic.
Little Dave is our engineer. He's a rock star. I thought he did a pretty good job for a bunch of guys who've never done anything like this before.
Definitely.
I want to thank the High Crest for coming in and playing some musical songs. Go to their website. They got some shows coming up. They're kind of digging in the calendar for them now. But if you get a chance to see them live, they'll knock your socks off. I want to thank Bob Nastanovich from Pavement for coming in and spending the hour with us.
I have several more things to say, though.
Well, we got several more shows.
Yes.
We got several more shows.
We hope.
I want to thank Eric for calling in. I want to thank the legendary Andy Chernoff for calling in. I want to thank Savekian, Grant's Tomb, and Shep for, doing this thing is not easy. We all live in different cities, and it's hard to get this all together, to come together. And I really wasn't quite sure how it was all going to go down, but somehow it seemed like it went okay. And
it's only once a month, dude.
Hats off to you guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Our next show will be March 24th, right here at the Webcast One Studios. You can see it on the website, the bigfootdiaries.blogspot.com. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. You can tell your friends about us. We do have a little promotional thing we're going to do here. We're trying to build ourselves to an LLC level. I have this amazing poster that Savekian put together. I'm going to have the High Crest and Bob Nastanovich sign these. We're going to do 10 of them, and I would like to sell them for $5 a piece. Hit me up on Facebook if you can. The money will go to basically make our production better as far as having a post office box and an LLC, that kind of thing. So we really appreciate you tuning in. Thanks to everybody for your hard work and diligence. And we'll see you in March after spring.
Excellent. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Bye-bye.